guys, so another on the road, and I'm here in Fort Wayne, Indiana. I'm stopped for the night. I'm going to do my reset here for 36 hours because I don't have to deliver till Monday. So then I can get on the way Sunday, about 8 in the morning, drive to just a Love's that's close to where I got deliver on Monday. And what a day today was. Like, I'm tired already, and I only drove 3 hours. But I had to go to the place where I was picking up. A little bit of a vague description. Figured out where I had to go in. So I had to check in with the security guard, fill out COVID papers, and all that stuff. Then I go to where the shipping and receiving office is, talk to them, check in. And the guy who was going to load me thought he was going to be funny and tell me the load was canceled. Now, I worked security for a number of years. Get pretty good at telling, despite people's voices, when they're lying. And so I picked up on that right away and knew he wasn't. He was just telling a big fib. Because also, my dispatcher would have called me right away if it would have canceled. So, go to get loaded, and this is an entire complex that's in buildings. They built the pipes there. So I had to go through one building, big drive all the way through it, to go to a second building to get loaded. Because apparently the pipe was in that building. So after about 15 minutes of backing up, because it's still not the best of backing up, get into this bay and he loads the truck. Then tells me, okay, you got to get this stuff strapped and you got to get over to this building so we can finish loading you. Some other pipe that's got to come from another building. So had to put 4 straps on because that was what their rules were. So I put the straps on, I go to leave, I can't get out of the building. The door goes up, but there's no sensor on my side. So it kept closing until I found somebody at work there to stand on the other side to keep the sensor, to keep the door open. So get out of there, go back through the first building, and then back up to a door on the first building so they can put the last piece of pipe on. There's one piece that had to come from that building. So they get it on. I gotta put my 4 straps back on because I had to take them all off. So they had to move the load around. So I put the straps back on, and the guy tells me, go ahead and strap anywhere in the yard. So I figure, well, I'm gonna save myself some time. I'm gonna loop around and do it in front by the shipping and receiving office. So I do it all up, go inside to get my paperwork. The guy's like, oh, you're not supposed to strap there. Just go strap under the tarps over there. I'm like, oh, not what I was told. And I get my paperwork, I step outside, I look, I don't see no tarped area, so I don't know what he's talking about. So I send off my paperwork, I go to leave. I'm like, hey, how do I leave this place? Oh, gotta go back through the first building again, all the way through, pretty much to where I was loading in the second building, go across the scale and leave. So I go across the scale, I gotta figure out my weight because it just takes the weight as a whole. So as I drive over, I gotta get the weights of each of my axles. Doing that, the security guard comes running out to take my info so he can check me out of the yard. It's a different security guard, different area of the building. So I give him that, and I sit there and figure out my calculations. And all of a sudden he pops out the door waving like, go, get out of here, go. Do a quick look in the mirrors, there's nobody behind me. There's nobody else trying to leave. So I finished my calculations. Found out I was 400 pounds overweight on my drive tires. side street there. Called my dispatch. They're like, oh, well, you got to slide your fifth wheel. Oh, okay. How do I do that exactly? So I've got to put the trailer legs down, flip a switch on the dash here that pops the pins in so the fifth wheel will slide. Then I got to drive the truck either forward or backwards to move it, which is fine, other than the fact that my truck's fairly new. Still, it's a 2019. So when I went to reverse it back easily, it slid all the way to the back. So I got to try and pull forward. It slides it all the way to the front. It won't slide just a little bit. It's either all the way forward or all the way back. So I fight with this for half an hour to where I got a warning light comes on. Since the clutch is getting too hot, I'm going to stop. So I got to sit and wait for that to clear up. Fiddle around a few more times, finally get it a little ahead. I had to move my tarps as well. Instead of being on the front of the trailer, dispatch said put them on the back. It'll help put a little bit of that weight back there too. Okay, so we did all that. And on top of that, I'm not supposed to fill my tanks, because that adds to the weight of the truck. So I'm basically not going to fill up until just before I unload, which is fine. I've got enough fuel, it's all good. So that's all fine and dandy. After slamming the truck around and knocking things over inside the truck and pick everything up, finally get my paperwork so I can cross the border and I take off. Cruise along no problem, and then I go to make this really sharp corner coming around, which all of a sudden the dash lights up again, and now I got another sensor going off and the truck is shutting down. No ifs, ands, or buts. Pull over and stop. This truck is shutting down. So I'm like, what the hell? So I call work, explain what's going on, explain what I saw before this all happened, and it looks like it's something to do with the coolant in the reservoir. So I go and I look and everything seems alright. And what we figure is that it was just such a corner, it tilted the truck just enough for that to move, slosh around and move off the sensor. So that's all done. I go across the border. That was lots of fun too, crossing Windsor, Detroit again. Except coming from Windsor to Detroit, there aren't a whole lot of signs as you're getting close to where you gotta go through for the American side. So I'm like, well, I think I go this way, because they're doing all the construction on that bridge. Figured out, got through on my merry little way. Keep checking my truck gap to make sure where I plan to stop. It's gonna have parking. It says parking. I get here, one spot, and a guy had to help me back in. So I was having issues with that. So I got the last spot in this truck stop. Made sure to update the app myself so that anybody else tries to come here will know that there are no spots. There are maybe 2 reserved spots. That's it. So you gotta pay for those. That's alright. I'm here. I shut it down. Alright. Get some food. There's a McDonald's. Oh no, it's Good Friday. McDonald's is closed. So they have some grubby sub from inside this truck stop. So, not the best of days today. But the load is still secure. Oh, and that sensor went off again. So I'll have to look at that in the daylight and see. If I don't see anything, I may wander down. There is a Kenworth dealership close by, so I may wander down and just talk to them. So I'm trying to call our maintenance guy and was it. I was on the road. What a day. Now I got a couple days I can just chill out. What is this guy doing? But that's it for today. Talk to you later.